Hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have Game 2 of Moki versus 000. So let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't watched Game 1, you can go ahead and check that out in the description below. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the players once more. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner of GSL Daybreak, I believe, we have the Green Zerg. Can he make a comeback as he is down 0-1 against his opponent Moki? His name is 06. And he clearly is the pilot from the anime from the 90s, Gundam Wing. So he's going to have a lot of fun trying to do some good old psychic predictions, as we do see a very early pool coming down from 06. And he's going to try and end this game early, but can his opponent up here in the top right-hand corner, the blue Protoss, he is up 1-0, but he's about to be cheesed. Will he be able to hold it off? His name is Moki, also known as Moki, if you are familiar with him by that name. Now he is going to go ahead and plant this forge down, and 06 is going to have to be very careful. Those Zerglings will be able to be produced in a short while. Moki might actually be wondering why this drone is out here so gosh darn early, so hopefully he will pick up on this cue that this drone is a very early drone scout. And he will, in fact, decide to go for that cannon first. In the last game, Moki did decide to go for the Forge, followed by the Nexus, followed by the cannon. And I'm not sure that the cannon will come out in time if he so chooses to do that. Now, this drone is actually already going to go ahead and whittle this pylon down by quite a bit. It's a surprising amount, as this drone only does 5 damage at a time. It looks like Moki does probably pick up on that exact issue, and he's going to go ahead and throw down that cannon, followed by the gateway, so he knows that there is going to be some early aggression coming on, as this probe did it. Yes, it did, in fact, scout out that early pool as well. And wow, this probe almost actually losing its life, actually does lose its life. That's going to be very annoying. But Moki doing a very smart wall up. I actually love this play. I'm going to have to steal that as a Protoss player. That's going to make it impossible for these Zerglings to really be able to do much of any damage. We do see that 06 has already started droning up and droning out of this. He only made the 6 Zerglings and then decided to start producing drones, as he knows he's going to be a little bit behind unless he starts making up for it in that drone count. But the nice thing that he will be able to do with these 6 Zerglings is he will be able to delay Moki from getting out this expansion until probably this cannon finally finishes. Otherwise, these Zerglings will just be able to harass an expansion that tries to go up endlessly. Now, Moki actually, in the heat of all of that confusion in trying to get up this wall, he did get himself a supply block, so he has to be a little bit careful about that in the future. That will allow 06 to actually catch up a little bit. Now, Moki also did manage to get this pylon down to block the expansion of his opponent. And it looks like he does have a drone position over here to potentially take this expansion. But this probe is going to be making its way across the map. It will actually get there in time to block off this expansion from going down before the pylon over here at the natural does go down. At the same time, we do see the opponent, or his opponent, Moki, has already taken the natural expansion that was initially denied by those 6 Zerglings, now beginning that wall up. He will also have the second gateway a little bit earlier than usual, so he might be able to do some kind of zealot aggression early on. But at the same time, he's going to also go ahead and take that second gas geyser, hopefully to try and do some either research or tech play out of it. Oh my god, looks like the Zealot actually gets surrounded by the Zerglings. The Zerglings might actually, oh no, not able to continue and maintain that surround. Once you do have that surround, you can actually maintain it with just 3 Zerglings. But you know, 06, not quite paying attention, does end up backing out just a little bit earlier before he actually ends up able to kill that Zealot off. They might actually be able to get it. No, does end up losing 1 Zergling in the process, trying to take out the shields of that Zealot, but that Zealot is going to happily survive for ire, knowing that it has faced the Zero Suit Mobile Gundam and lived. And it looks like the expansion down for 06 has not decided to do anything with his drone yet. I feel like he might have actually forgotten about it, as it's not hotkeyed or anything. Has not decided to take that third very fast either. This probe does see all, and he is going to know that that expansion is just finishing up now. He's also going to have a good count on how many Zerglings are across the map. It looks like these Zerglings trying to do a little bit of poking action, but as I said before, having these two gateways out a little bit earlier, or at least the second gateway, will allow him to produce just one extra Zealot. So if he so chooses, he can do a little bit of harassment for that. But for now, it looks like he's just going to use them to defend. And Moki is going to go ahead and grab this gas geyser over here, as well as having already grabbed the gas geyser in the main. So I'm really curious if we're going to go ahead and see a similar play from the last game where he does decide to go for that robotics facility. But, you know, this game is transitioning out to be a pretty normal game, except for the fact that 06 is a bit behind in that worker count. So 06 is going to have to be very careful and really has to take a risk somewhere, either in producing tech faster than he should, or either going for a heavier economy than he really should and hoping that Moki doesn't punish him, or just going for something. He has to take a risk as he is behind at this point in the game. And if he just continues to play standard, he's going to continue to be behind unless Moki does fall behind on that macro. And we do see additional gateways being produced from Moki, so that is going to put him up to 5 gateways, I believe. And with that +1 researching, he will be able to produce, yes, there it is, that robotics facility and that Twilight Council. So he will be going for a probably similar build to the last game. He saw that it worked for him in game 1. So he's going to go ahead and try it one more time. Why the heck not? Especially if you're in an advantageous position. It's worth a shot to just try and do that and see if you can secure one more win. If not, he does have another game to fall back upon. But we do see a lot of Zerglings and Roaches streaming across the map. 06 going to be a little bit supply block, though. That's definitely going to be a little bit annoying. But at the same time, it's going to be a bit of a dangerous push for Moki. He has to make sure that he holds this off just right. He does have 2 cannons to help him out, as well as quite a few sentries with those force fields. He will also have that warping round in just a second, and an immortal potentially be able to be produced. But it looks like for now he's just going to be going with that observer. So not going to be an immortal in the mix. But Moki does have to be careful. He is looking to potentially move out. So if he gets caught out of position, this army could do a lot of damage. But for now, I don't think that 06 will be able to do any massive amount of damage to Moki. As long as Moki does notice in time and does get those force fields down, he will be able to be in a very good position. As a lot of these units could have been drones, who's going to be behind economically. All the Roaches getting sectioned off from the Zerglings, and now it looks like Moki did get caught off a bit of off guard away from his nice little wall off and the security of this wall off, where he can just throw down 1 force field and be safe from the Zerglings. But he did manage to delay this push just a little bit, managed to do a little bit of damage to those Roaches, now getting some good force fields, picking off 2 of the Roaches. That's definitely going to help, but he is running very low on force fields. By very low, I mean he has absolutely none. He's going to continue to build up energy for additional force fields, but now it looks like 06 going to have to back off. He's lost a few of those Roaches. The surprise of his attack is already gone, and he does know, happily though, that Moki has not taken that third just quite yet. This probe actually being the most ninja probe of the entire game, managing to elude those army units that did come down to check for that third and eventually leave. He just said, if I stand very still, nothing will see me. But once again, I was saying before, 06 opting to take third already. The Zealot from Moki, a very wise decision to try and put on this harassment, does come from this pylon over here that is very well placed as well. He's going to go ahead and start whacking away at that third expansion, so Moki is going to know exactly what's going on, exactly what the timing is on 06's expansion. We're going to see if he decides to take a third of his own in the near future, but no, it looks like for now he's just going to be looking to move out with potentially 1 or 2 immortals and a good number of sentries and some stalkers. Continue to reinforce, as he already has that +2 weapons researching and no +1 armor just quite yet. Ooh, actually, very interesting play over here, as this pylon was scouted by the potential 4th base, but wow, actually, 06 not notice this Zealot? It looks like now noticing, letting this expansion fall to half of its health. That actually could come back to haunt him later on, but it looks like, oh my god, actually not even being responsible about noticing this pylon that he did when he decided to take this expansion. Now it looks like this expansion is definitely going to have to be cancelled, as he will end up losing it. That's going to delay his 4th expansion. The risk that he tried to take by taking his 4th expansion before Mokomi had even taken his 3rd is not going to pay off, and 06 not actually even saturating anything. Now we see that Mokomi has not really gotten a chance to kill off many workers with this zealot harassment he's been doing, but still very much worth it. And these zealots even staying alive after killing off that expansion. There was, oh my god, was there no cancel on that expansion? Well, they at least killed off the drone, so 06 might be a little bit mentally not in a good position, just because he's making a lot of mistakes at this point in the game. He's already fallen behind, and he's falling further behind as this game goes on, since that 4th base was forced to be cancelled or if not killed, and now only now getting that 3rd base up and saturated. Now we do see the Spire coming out for 06, so it's going to be a little bit of a repeat from the last game. We're going to see how much damage he can do with those Mutalisks. We do see that he is behind in the worker count, so having a bit of harassment could very well bring him back into this game. We're going to see if he can do it. A Zergling, a run-by coming across the map. We do see a Hallucinated Phoenix going ahead and getting out a Scout. Now 06 should not be scared about any Stargates being down right now, as he did see that that Phoenix did not do any damage to those Overlords. But anyways, we do see the 12 Mutalisks coming out, and that Phoenix should have gotten a vision scout off on the Spire, at least. Oh no, actually the Spire's down here, and he has no idea about it, so these Mutalisks are going to be a nice surprise for Mokomi. We're going to have to see how much damage Mokomi does end up taking. He does have his army position over here at this 3rd. This is going to be very helpful for him, and we don't see any cannons that we did see in the last game positioned in his main or his natural. So that could lead to 06 doing some good damage. It looks like 06 already going to be moving up toward the main first to do a little bit of harassment. Now these Brutus are going to go ahead and poke around. They do have that Galileo Reconstitution, so they will be able to run away, but not before taking some losses to those Blink Stalkers. So good play by Mokomi. Actually, even a good play by 06, making sure that Mokomi does not try and overcommit, but now 06 being the one that's overcommitting. Where are the Mutalisks? Actually, the Mutalisks only grouping up over here, not quite moving in, even though I think that would have been a fantastic time to try and move in and do some harassment. We do see here that no workers have been killed. Let's see if 06 can do some good damage. Mokomi retreating back. His army will be a bit out of position. There are no cannons in the main or the natural or the 3rd base to really defend against any Mutalisk harassment. Looks like the Mutalisks are attacking the gateways. Oh no! He needs to kill off as many probes as he can. He needs to make a comeback into this game. Looks like Mokomi is retreating back. He does have that Blink Stalker advantage, so we'll be able to blink back up into the main, and it looks like now 06 is going to go ahead and retreat. Very well worth it from 06, as he only loses 3 or 4 of those Mutalisks, killing off 16 workers. I believe 14 workers killed off in that harassment, so a good win, almost evening out 06's worker advantage. But once again, I said it in the last game, and I'll say it now, 06 wants to be at least a base up ahead at this point in the game, and he is not. He is also does not have as great of a unit composition as his opponent Mokomi. He does have a couple of Zerglings. He has some Banelings now morphing in, quite a few actually, and a couple of Mutalisks, but really does not have the upgrade count that he wants. He only has +1 Carapace versus the +2, +1 weapons and armor for Mokomi. And meanwhile, he also does not even have any upgrades on these Mutalisks. Let's see if he is researching. +1 flying weapons is going to be finishing up in just a second. He does also have a few more Mutalisks. So if he can build up a massive Mutalisk count without taking too much damage from those Psy Storms that we do see is researching right now, he might be able to do still well in this game. We do see a 4th coming down for Mokomi, but these Mutalisks are going to be looking to move in. The Stalkers are there to blink under, but that does mean that the Blink Stalkers have used their blink. Now it looks like 06 could have actually moved in and at least sniped off a pylon or something, but does decide to just back out. Going to be playing a little bit safer, although I do feel that he could have picked off that pylon at least, as Mokomi did blow all of the blink on his Stalkers and was not able to blink into the main as he did in the previous Blink Stalker harassment. Now we do finally see that 4th base being retaken once again for 06, but he's going to be behind in upgrades, behind in army supply, and just does not have the great unit composition that Mokomi has right now, so I feel like 06 is going to have to make something amazing happen to really come back into this game. He does have, once again, quite a few of these banelings coming out. In the last game, he really did suffer from just poor unit position. Oh my god, so many of the Mulas! It looks like we're lost from that move-in by the Mutalists. And it looks like the Blink Stalkers did manage to pick off quite a few more of them. But I was saying before, and I'll say it again, 06 did not get a good unit or army engagement in that last battle. So he did end up losing quite a few of his banelings. He lost about 40 supply of his banelings just because he was trying to move up a ramp where all of his banelings were getting funneled. Ice Storm and a force field were being thrown down by Mokomi. So he has to be very careful to make sure that does not happen again over here. It looks like those destructible rocks were already taken out by Mokomi, but he has to be very careful. Mokomi does need to have some good force fields to stop those banelings from immediately just running in and terrorizing his entire army. He will also have those Psy Storms that will help very much in dealing out that damage on those banelings, and he will also be able to blink back his Stalkers if he so chooses to do. So he will be prepared for that huge baneling count, but he still has to be careful. He still has to make sure he micros it out, knows everything in time. Meanwhile, I will say, we do see the mothership out for Mokomi, so he's going to be prepared for any potential Broodlord transition. That's actually going to be a good bit away. The lair only now just morphing into a hive, so he's going to be well prepared. He's going to have that energy very much stored and saved up for that big engagement. Now, one thing that is also different from the last time is that 06 does not have those infestors, but looks like he's going to be moving in. The Mutals actually being the first ones to engage, the Psy Storm being thrown down, now the Colossus wreaking havoc on those banelings, and it looks like now 06 actually just feeling he won't be able to win this, not even microing, just typing out GG. And it looks like he will, however, just let this army dwindle as these force fields are just too darn good. And now, finally, it looks like he is going to throw out that GG. Still some Colossus left over. This Colossus had 12 kills, 13 kills, 14 kills with that +3 weapons on those Colossus do so much damage, as well as having all those Psy Storms and those force fields. So that's actually going to end this series up at 2-0 for Mokomi against his opponent 06. This was the round of 4 winners final, so that does mean that 06 was knocked down to the losers bracket, so he was not out of the tournament just yet. Still had hope and still does have hope. I won't give any spoilers just quite yet on who ended up winning that tournament, but he still has that chance of winning the entire tournament. Mokomi also sitting in a good position, going to be moving to the winners finals. So go ahead and tune in to the rest of the games. I'm going to try and go ahead and cast the rest of the tournament as well from this round and onward, as well as a couple of the losers rounds. So if you guys enjoyed these games in any capacity, please leave some comments below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the channel you're watching these videos from. And you can also subscribe or follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/FearDragon64. If you have any replays you want submitted, you can go ahead and submit them to feardragon64@gmail.com. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I'll see you guys later. Look for the rest of the Boilerfrag games coming up in the next couple of days.